Okay, this is part 2 of the How to Sweat or Weld Copper Pipe series. Not that there really is a series, but I got a lot of emails. People were asking me about sweating horizontal pipes and also vertical. Obviously the one I did in the last video, the first video, was a horizontal pipe. Now I'd like to just quickly demonstrate a vertical pipe and what they call the capillary action, where the heat actually wicks the solder up into the joint. What I'm going to be using is, instead of the regular propane that you saw in the last video, which was the regular Benzomatic or a Wellington brand propane, I bought a Benzomatic one, which has got this new, as it's listed, max propylene. Supposedly it burns, I think, a little bit hotter than the standard propane you would get. And again, just the standard tools, a little solder paste made by Odie. It's good flux, cleans the pipe, oxidizes the pipe, helps with your joint. Just the various tools you use, to ream out the pipe, clean it off a little bit. Again, just set it up a little horizontal. I'm going to actually do it in real time, and I'm going to set up the camera so you can actually hopefully see the solder wick up into the joint. Hopefully this will alleviate maybe a little bit of stress you're having about if you need to sweat or weld a pipe that's actually in a vertical position as opposed to horizontal. Okay, so I'm ready to start welding or sweating this joint for you now. I'm going to heat it up with the torch. You're going to see the solder or the flux start to bubble at some point, and you'll see a slight green color. That generally would tell you that the pipe itself is getting hot enough to where you can start to apply the solder. Hopefully you'll be able to see it actually wick up into the joint from the bottom. So I'm going to heat it up. I'm going to start to check the solder to see that it's going to start to melt and flow, and then I'm going to move the heat up, and hopefully it'll wick it up into the joint itself. Again, you see I took the heat totally off this pipe. This propylene is actually really hot. It'll keep the pipe hotter, give you a little more working time with the solder. You see it just flow into the joint. Again, with that hook, you can actually probably reach around the pipe to the back of it where you couldn't see. Get it flow in there. And what you want to do is give it a couple seconds and just take a wet rag. Try and wipe your pipe off the best you can. Always good to wear gloves in case a hot piece of solder drips like it just did on me. Just going to wipe your pipe off. In this instance, I'm actually able to spin the pipe because it's only an example. And then hopefully when you're done, your joint will look welded and sweated and soldered, and if you're actually able to see all the way around the pipe, the bottom end here, you see that it's sweated all the way up into the joint. And again, the top, easy part, is going to flow down. And again, that was a horizontal joint. So hopefully that'll alleviate a lot of the stress and concerns you have. Again, if you're able to look, I don't know how good the camera picks it up, all around this bottom portion, you'll see that it's totally up in the joint. Now, I don't have a lot of good lighting, but if you're able to see down into the pipe, you might be able to see that the solder itself sweated all the way up into the inside of the joint. So again, hopefully that will help you with a vertical as opposed to a horizontal sweating.